Right. So good morning, everyone. My name is Teresa Lewis. I work with Kim King over at Parkwood Retirement. Appreciate you joining us this morning. We're excited to be able to offer you this virtual seminar using Zoom. And so this is our first Zoom meeting, so hopefully everything will go smoothly. So just kind of bear with us. I wanted to go over a few housekeeping items in terms of how to use Zoom on different applications for those that might be new to it. Let's see here. I can make my screen scroll. There we go. So if you're using an iPhone, here's kind of a quick snapshot. You should be able to choose participants on your iPhone and see those that are participating and raise your hand if you have a question. Keep in mind, we are going to open it up to questions and answers at the end. Here is a snapshot of an iPad view. So you click participants up here, you see your participants, and you should have this bar for raising your hand. And then I think there's a more button, and then you can raise your thumbs up, thumbs down. And then let's see here. Here is a screenshot of a laptop view. So this is called speaker view. So when Rochelle's speaking, she'll be here in this space, and then all the participants will be up here. There's also a gallery view, so it kind of gives you, I call it the Brady Bunch kind of visual. So again, you can click participants, and this will show up on the right side, and you can raise your hand if you have any questions, and I'll try to keep my eye up for that. So again, bear with me, it's kind of new, and actually I think I do have a chat. Yeah, so Rochelle left her cell phone number if you want to call her. So wanted to start off asking everybody, let's see, I'm going to stop sharing. Actually, I think I can do this while I'm sharing my screen. I'm going to launch a quick poll just to get an idea of, how you heard about the seminar. So if you could just answer the questions here just to give me an idea of how you heard about us in the seminar today, I'd greatly appreciate it. So it should be popping up on your screen, and you should have the ability to select how you heard.
Oh, host and panelists.
Okay, I'll go ahead and end the poll. And more people received our email than any other other means of the advertisements that we did. So I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing my screen here. So there we go. So let's see here. I think somebody might be trying to join. So we now have, I think it's Anise, Elizabeth, Judy, Kim, Rochelle, and myself. So Kim, if you could let them know that all they have to do is click on that link. It shouldn't ask for an ID. The link actually has the ID embedded in it. And so once they register, they just go to that registration page and click on join the meeting. Okay. So the meeting ID, let me see if I can find that. If there's, it shouldn't ask for that, but the meeting ID is 979-9487-2397. See if that helps them. Okay. So our co-host today is Rochelle Ross. She is the founder and president of A Simplified Space. She's a professional organizer who's been serving the Bedford community for more than 8 years. She's deeply rooted into the Bedford community. She actually is serving on the HEB ISD Board of Trustees and the HEB ISD Education Foundation, and has served on the HEB Chamber of Commerce. So she is an expert in home organization, and it's exciting to have her join us today. So I'm going to turn the mic over to Rochelle.
Good morning, everyone. So I'm joining you from my Disney room. I was telling Teresa earlier, I was hoping to be a little bit more professional from my office, but my two boys are awake on a Saturday morning, a 19-year-old and a 12-year-old. And I thought, why are you guys awake? You're never awake. So this is my Disney room and my most fun place in my house, the place that I like to spend the most time. It's mine. It's my mom cave. It's got all of my Disney toys been collecting since I was a little girl. So I'll kind of talk about that a little bit later about how I've created each room in my house as a space that I really want to be and how do I do that. So I'm just going to start off this morning by giving you a few of my best tips. And to treat him about, we wanted to present this and what we wanted to talk about. They wanted to really highlight spring cleaning. And I think that organizing and spring cleaning go hand in hand, because really, you know, we say, I'm going to spring clean my house because it's March or it's April. What does that mean? That does mean taking a lot of stuff out and figuring out really what to keep, what to get rid of, what to do with it. And then as you take things out of each space, cleaning that space before you put it back in. So if you do a closet, really giving it a good clean, running the vacuum, doing the baseboards and that kind of stuff. So I'm just going to go through and give you some of my best tips, and then we're going to talk about the process of actual organizing, because it may be a little bit different than your brain initially tells you. My whole philosophy is the name of my business, A Simplified Space. I've lived this way really since I was a little girl. For whatever reason, it's my gift to be efficient and organized and tidy. So my mom would tell you that there's high type A people, there's high type A people, and then there's Rochelle. So some of what I may say, you may go, oh, I don't know, that might be too much, and that's okay. What I really try to do with my clients is take them somewhere between where they are and creating what a simplified space means for them, because it may mean something different to me than it would mean to someone else. But really, I try to teach my clients to create the most simplified spaces in their house, to lessen frustration, to create happy places that you want to be, and just be able to kind of get the mundane things out of here so that they go on an automatic pilot and you have a lot more fun to do more things. I have people ask me all the time, how do you get so much done in a day? I don't have more time than you. I don't have necessarily more energy than some of you. But what I do is have a process to get me through the things in my house. My house is on a regular cleaning schedule. My laundry is on a regular schedule. I do my dishes every day. I make my bed every day. And getting those Monday things and those cleaning things more efficient and more on a process rather than kind of like a crisis mode is going to help you create more simplified space in your house. So my very first best tip that I really try to get people to do is to clear off flat surfaces. So your kitchen countertop is not your mail station. Your bedside table, not your mail station. The coffee table in the living room, not a mail station. So getting flat surfaces like the countertops in your kitchen, your bedside table in your bedroom, the counter in your bathroom, not a place to collect mail, the living room, not a place to collect mail. So really starting to decorate and make those places in those flat surfaces in your house feel free from clutter, and only having things that are pretty, that make you feel good and make you feel happy on flat surfaces. In the kitchen, they should be clear logically, right, to prep food. So, and on your bedside table, the last thing I want for my clients is for my client to get ready to go to sleep and put their head down and go, oh, look at that whole to-do list, and then they're not getting restful sleep. So your bedroom should be the place that you rest, that you sleep, and not the place that causes stress from the mail that you're looking at before you go to bed. And that's really where I suggest when people, especially if you're feeling overwhelmed to begin with, that's kind of where you start initially, is on the flat surfaces and just trying to get them cleared off. The next thing is to really stop procrastinating. It's just like at the turn of the year, everybody says, okay, it's a new year, I'm going to get organized, or I'm going to start this diet, I'm going to lose weight, I'm going to get in shape, I'm going to be a better, mom, I'm going to be a better something. It's really today, and it's really starting today. So when I speak to groups, I always encourage people, today, I want to get off this call and I want you to pick one small space, whether it's one drawer that has too many knives in it, if it's a linen closet that may have too many linens in it, and we're going to kind of start to talk about that stuff in a minute. But pick one small space today that you can get excited about, that you can clean out, that you can look back in 10 minutes after it's done and go, I'm awesome, and start small place and work up to big places. Whether you're fairly organized to begin with, or you just really feel overwhelmed in many spaces in your house, it's all what I call the Rubik Cube. You're going to start in one place, and you're going to take things out of this room, but you're going to have to move into a temporary holding place over here. And you're just going to keep moving the cube and moving the cube until most sides have the same color. So, and it's not going to happen in a week. It may not happen in a month, depending on your space, but eventually you're going to stop and go, oh my gosh, wow, I really did get all of my spaces the way that I want them. But to be patient and to understand that it's really just a constant process. My house is very organized, but I still have places that I need to touch. And I'm going to tell on myself right now. I'm going to switch my camera. And this is right beside me. So this is one of the projects I need to do today. We've all got CDs and DVDs that now we don't use as much, right? So I had those in a place that it was kind of bugging me. It was cluttering up a space. And I took them out a few days ago, and I made a pile of definite keeps, the sentimental ones, like movies from my childhood that I still go back and watch that I may not be able to find on Netflix. And then there's a pile that I need my husband to go through because they may be movies that he liked, or, that kind of thing. So even when you feel like you're completely organized in your spaces, there's still going to be times when you're going to have little projects like that to work on. So it's really just a journey. It's never a complete destination for anybody. But when you start procrastinating and you just start right now, today, one little thing. And that's why I went ahead and put up my cell phone number, because I invite any of you to text me later today and show me what you did. I want to see it. And if you're stuck, if you need help, if you need to text pictures, that's my personal cell phone number. And I encourage you to use it, because it's really my passion to get people free. And that's kind of my tagline, is get free people. I just feel like I scream it, all the time. So stop procrastinating, start today. Two general rules about organizing. And if you have ever read an article, you've bought a book on organizing, you've heard other organizers speak, there are two rules that you follow. You have to know where things live, and you have to set a space limit. So I'm lucky enough to live in a 4-bedroom house. We've raised 3 kids here. One is gone. I still have 2 boys at home. And my husband is not buying me a bigger house. If anything, we're going to start to downsize. So I have to live in the space that I've been given. In each room, there is a limited amount of space. In each closet, in each drawer, there's a limited amount of space. And really, you should be able to open any closet, any cabinet, or any drawer and see every single thing that you have. You shouldn't have to move one thing to get to another thing, or one thing to see another thing. It should be where when you open up that space, you can see everything you have. That is truly living in the space that you have been given. That's what that means. And we're going to talk about how to get there in just a minute. And then knowing where things live. So once you get a space exactly like you want it, like that drawer, that closet that you're going to tackle today, it means don't schmutz the space again. If you clean out a drawer and it has scissors in it and knives, those are always going to go back where you created that space. Don't start to just jam or shove other things in that space because you don't know what to do with them at the time. Be very intentional about that, about knowing where things live, always putting them back in that space now that you've created. And if you have an object or something that you go, well, I don't know where to put it, then don't put it anywhere for the time being until you have a space and you know where it lives. So does that kind of make sense? Just to kind of follow those two rules, and your space will automatically start to become more free and less frustrating. And then you're always going to be able to, it's a cliche in the professional organizing industry, right? Like, I can't find my keys. I never lose my keys. I never lose anything. Now, remember, I'm pretty high type A. I always put things back where they go. But when you start to do it with the very simple things that are causing you the most frustration at first, you're going to start to notice a difference. And then you're going to almost become addicted and excited about finding a space for everything, creating that space, and then knowing where things live and always putting them back. So those are the two basic rules for organizing that. If you just start to follow those, you're going to just start to live a lot more free on a day-to-day basis. The other thing is purging things as you go. This is really important. So if I put on a shirt this morning and it still has a little stain, or it's missing 2 buttons and I don't have matching buttons, or I've got a spatula or something in the kitchen that's kind of nicked, and every time I go to use it, I put it back. Start to purge those things as you come across them. I have a bin in my garage that every time I have a piece of clothing that doesn't make me feel pretty anymore, or anything in my home, if I buy a new set of sheets and I purge a pair of sheets, it goes in that bin. And when that bin is full, that's when I take it for donation. So I'm constantly purging things out of my house as I bring new things in. That's a good rule to follow also. But having that designated place to put them, and then just as soon as you pick it up, if you have any hesitation, think about why you're having that hesitation. Here's what I tell my clients: 4 things. Do you need it? Do you want it? Do you use it? And do you love it? Every single thing I have in my house, I love. I love being in my home, and I love being in every room in my house, except my boys' rooms. That I will talk about that too. I just kind of let them do what they want. But if I put on a shirt and it does not make me feel pretty, it's gone. It may have made me feel pretty 20 years ago, but if it's not making me feel that way now, it's gone. If I pick something up in the kitchen and I feel like it's past its useful time, I donate it. When I buy new sheets or new towels or whatever, everything in my space has to make me feel good about my life. And I'm very intentional about that. I really like to live by a lot of joy and a lot of happiness. And I think especially now where we're all kind of locked down, and it's very easy to have days right now that we're just like, oh my gosh, try to find the joy in the small things. And sometimes the small things are going to come from your own space that make you feel good about being there. So let's see, what else? Okay. Getting efficient in the places that you use the most. So, and it depends on what season you're in. I'm still in a season that I have kids in my house, so I have to cook dinner every night. Don't like it, but I have to do it. So my kitchen has to be one of the most functional places in my home. My bedroom has to be a peaceful place because I need to get some rest, right? I am busy. I work. I have kids. I have other obligations. So when I lay my head down in my room at night, I need to get the best rest that I can. And I also very much preach it high. Rooms are intended for certain uses. So a true story. I have had clients in the past that their bathrooms were so cluttered with paper that they brushed their teeth in the kitchen, or that their kitchen was so cluttered with paper or other things didn't know what to do with, that they were just eating out every meal because they had no space to prep their food. A kitchen is intended for meals, family time, family meeting time around the table, prepping meals, and specifically what a kitchen is intended for. Your bedroom is intended for sleep and rest and private time with your partner. Your room is intended to be just a bathroom. It's not intended to be an office to hold your mail. And your master closet is not necessarily intended to hold everything that you don't know what to do with. Your master closet should hold your clothes and your shoes. And depending on where your space kind of lies in your house, sometimes it becomes the holding place for memories and things like that, maybe on the upper shelves. But really, when you stand in a room, think, what is this room intended for? What is this room intended to be? How is it intended to be functional in my house? And really try. That's where you're going to start to move your Rubik cube. You're going to move things from the bathroom that are not intended to be there. I'm going to say something controversial. I get this a lot. Your laundry room is not intended to hold clothes. The chair on your bedroom, not intended to hold clothes, right? The laundry room is intended to wash, dry, get it out. The closet and the drawers in your bedroom are intended to hold your clothes. So if that kind of starts to make sense, I get a little pushback on that. Sometimes people go, what do you mean your laundry room doesn't hold, clothes? No, it really shouldn't be a place to just kind of gather whatever you don't know what to do with. When you have something that you say, I don't know where to put this, or I don't know what to do, stop, be intentional, think, do I need it, love it, want it, use it? And if you answer yes to those questions, then finding a very specific intentional place, and that's where it is going to live. So what's the process of organizing? I'm going to tell you first what it's not. It is not this morning after you get off this, opening the linen closet and going, okay, today this is going to be my project. But first, I'm going to go to the container store and I'm going to buy containers, and then I'll come home and organize it. That's not what organizing is. All that is buying containers and binning stuff, right? What are you binning, and what kind of containers are you buying? Are they really what you need? And is everything in that space really something you want to keep or need or should live there? So you do not get to do the fun stuff first. I'm sorry. You have to do the work before you can do the fun of the organizing. The first thing that you're going to do, it doesn't matter whether it's a drawer, it's a closet, it's a garage, it's your car, it's your purse, doesn't matter what it is. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to take everything out. It has to come out. And you have to start to sort. You're going to pull things out and you're going to say, this is a definite yes. That goes in your A pile, your yes pile, no doubt about it. There may be some things that you just don't know. You say, well, it's a maybe. It's a genuine maybe. That's going to kind of go in your middle pile, and you're just going to leave it there for a little bit. But there will be a lot of things that you don't even realize that you have that are automatically going to go away. And you're all very lovely ladies on this call. I'm not calling you trashy, but people don't realize how much trash they have in a space, right? Because sometimes, especially like in a master closet, people don't, I think, sometimes realize that they may take an item that they bought out of a bag and then put the bag or the tag they take off of it onto a shelf instead of automatically throwing that in the trash or, disposing of it somewhere. So getting the trash out and getting the donate. If you look at something and you say, yeah, this is a definite no, but if this is a good donatable item, then putting it in the donate pile. And then within the keep, sorting by like items. So you're going to put, if you're in the kitchen, you're going to put all your spatulas in one section, all of your knives in one section. If you're in your master closet, you're going to put all your jeans together, all your shorts together. Will really start to come very clear to you how much you have of your stuff, right? Because if you have knives, 3 drawers in the kitchen, you don't know what you have. If you have jewelry and then your clothes and not sorted like item, know how many jeans you really have. And 20, we use 20% of the stuff we have 80% of the time. So there's going to be a lot of things that you probably haven't seen in a while that you genuinely don't want. You've just never taken the time to get rid of. So once you start to see what you have and make decisions, that makes the purging of easier. Remember that you only have a certain amount of space to live in. So it's really important for you, as you are making your yes pile, and then once you have your yes pile, understanding that you may only be able to take part of your maybe pile to your yes pile, because that's the space that you have. If you have this space, you can't keep this much stuff. I'm a really good organizer. This is my gift. This is what I'm really good at. But even I cannot make too much stuff fit in a space. And I repeat that to every client, almost every session that I work. And I say it with a smile and I say it with love. Sometimes I have to sit on their lap and give them a big hug and say, this isn't going to fit. Let's go back and redo some decisions. But you'll really be surprised, I think, that when you start to look at the categories and putting like items together, that you go, okay, so I used to wear jeans every single this season in my life. Now I may not wear them as much. Or, you know, I used to have to wear dress clothes 5 days a week. Now I only wear them to church. I may not need that many dress clothes anymore. But once you start to kind of get your piles together, it becomes very, very clear a lot of the time, what is the keep, what is the definite no, and then you can pull from that maybe pile. So here's some questions that can kind of help you start the purge process in your head. I don't make my clients purge anything they don't want to. I really don't. But these are the conversations that I will have with my clients. And there's times when the conversation is easy, and then there's times when the conversation can be very difficult. So again, I'm not calling you trashy people, not calling you dirty people, but if it has dust on it, you haven't looked at it in a while. And I want you to really think, if I haven't looked at this or loved this in a while, why do I have it? Ask yourself the why and be real honest with yourself. Okay. So if it has dust on it, that's generally like kind of one clue. If there's a box with dust on it in your closet, I'm gonna ask you, why do you have this if you haven't gotten it down? If we get that box down from that closet and you say to me, I don't even know what's in there. If you don't know what's in there, you don't love it. If we open the box and you say one of two things, oh, I forgot I had that. Okay, again. If you say, I don't even know where that came from, that's going to be a conversation, right? So I'm going to sit and I'm going to say to you, then let's talk about taking it out of the box. If we keep this in your home, where would you put it? How often would you use it? Are you going to love it? Or can you give this away and let somebody else that may really need it or love it have it? Okay. So those are questions that whether you're working with a professional organizer or whether you're just working on your own, that you can, kind of ask yourself, sit, be intentional. A few months ago, 6 months ago, Marie Kondo became huge. She had a 4-part miniseries. I'll be honest, I didn't watch them. Her philosophy about finding joy in things is absolutely spot on. And that's what I teach. I don't call it joy necessarily, but I say, do you love it enough to keep it? That part of teaches spot on. Her approach of complete minimalism sometimes is not sustainable and attainable by most people. So I think kind of trying to find where you sit personally in your space, somewhere between a Marie Kondo, a Rochelle Ross and Simplified Space, and where you are, is always a good place to, when you sit and you're trying to be intentional about what to keep, what to give away, hard decisions, just, try to think about those kinds of things. So I do want to make sure I have time for questions. I'm showing we have, maybe about 10 minutes or so. I kind of wanted to show you some spaces in my house. Teresa, you think we have time to do that real quick? If I just kind of open some of my closets and let people see? Okay. So I'm going to turn the camera again. And I'm still trying to get used to this virtual thing too. I haven't quite learned how to use my iPad. So this is good practice for me again. But okay, so I'm going to turn the camera. This is a closet. This is in an upstairs closet. And because my office is in an open space in my home, I do use this closet to store notebooks and school board stuff that I need. There's our taxes, all of the electronics. So every time you buy a phone or a camera or something electronic, this is where all of mine is stored. All of those crazy cords that you still need to keep. Here's our filing system. This is all the paper we have in our house, is these two bins right here. And then part of it is a traditional linen closet where I do have some linens, board games, and linens. So let me talk about, while I am going to another space, let me talk a few minutes about just some general philosophies. Like on linens, I only have 2 sets of sheets per bed. That's it. I have one in the linen closet, one on the bed. And then once a week they get changed and they get flipped. It's kind of the same with towels. In my husband and I's bathroom and my 12-year-old, we each only have 2 sets of towels per week. That's it. My older son prefers a towel every single time he showers, but he's in charge of his laundry, so I don't care what he does. So if you're willing to do the laundry, the rules can change. But if mom is doing the laundry, it's mom's rules. Here's my desk, and you can see what is not on my desk. Paper. There's my inbox. So I don't have any paper in my kitchen, bathroom, living room. All of the paper that I need to look at goes in this one bin on my desk. If you don't have a desk, that's okay. Create a bin somewhere in your house. It can be in the kitchen, but it's got to be only one place that it's caught. And then I have this little rolling cart that helps me stay organized more on a day-to-day basis. This is not a filing place. This is only a place that holds paper that I need to work on, that's pending, that I need to have for quick reference for a short period of time. I have one drawer that's Ross Family, one drawer that's Simplified Space, one drawer that's Leadership HEB, because I chair a leadership program through the Chamber of Commerce, and then one drawer that is school board stuff. So anything that is active, that is not ready to file or throw away, goes there. And this is the only place in my house that I have paper, no place else. I have gotten to where I call paper the big bully, because people have it in so many places and genuinely don't know what to do with it. And that's like a whole different webinar. I could talk about paper for days. So now I'm gonna take you into my kitchen. And so again, here's my kitchen. I practice what I preach. I promise I did not stage this. There's no paper. There's nothing in here. That's a frozen meal that I am taking to a family later today that just had a baby. That's the only reason that's out. But that's it. I am ready to cook dinner and prep meals today whenever. Oh no, wait, did I lose y'all? Nope, there I am. Okay. Here's my pantry. This is my most favorite thing in the world to do. I love kitchens and pantries. So I have several rules. And again, if we had more time, I would tell you what my rules are for food. But, you know, it's zoned. I'm following my rule. There's crackers, there's bread, there's cans. You know, items are not mixed with each other. So if I want a cracker or my family wants a cracker, or it's time to go grocery shopping, I know exactly what I need to buy. So, okay, is that starting to make sense? Am I losing anybody yet? I did a webinar last Saturday too, and it was kind of fun to walk people through my house. I got a lot of good feedback, and I promise I didn't stage anything today, I promise. Here's my laundry room. My laundry room is decorated with no clothes. See, it's all clear. Here's my to-do pile for today. So again, I have only one place that I have my to-do pile. These are things that I absolutely have to take care of today. It's where my purse always sits. You know, down here, I'm grabbing my neighbor's mail while she's out of town, so I'm keeping it there. You know, these are things that I need to do today. I'm taking my friend to Dr. Pepper because it's her favorite thing. So I'm going to show you another closet. And this is a downstairs hallway closet. So this is where I keep, I have one of my older son is a type 1 diabetic. So that's all of his diabetic supplies in one place. I often get questions about where do you store candles and light bulbs and that kind of stuff. In my house, this is where my candles are because this is where they fit. My light bulbs tend to be my light bulbs are in the garage. But again, it's a linen closet. So there's, you know, this is all the towels and sheets I have in waiting. And this is all of our extra like toothpaste, extra hairsprays, extra shampoos, so that we never run out of anything. This is a space that I created so that anything in our house that we, you know, may need, this is where it is. I do the same thing in the kitchen. I have a shelf where all the extra stuff is. Oh, now you know where the little safe in my house is. There's our beach bag that's packed. And I actually store my paint in my house so that when I touch stuff up. Okay, now I'm going to turn the corner and I'm going to, this is my bedroom. And I will say, again, you don't see any paper, you don't see any clothes. I did not stage this. This is what it will look like on any given day. This is my most peaceful place in my house. It's a chair in my room. This is a swag lamp that was my grandparents from the 1950s. And this is when I am feeling happy, sad, mad, depressed. It doesn't matter. This is absolutely the space in my house that I have created that I love to be. I love to be in my bedroom because it's peaceful. When my kids were little, they weren't really allowed to bring toys in here. But this has just always been a place that I created, and it only has my happy stuff right there. That's it. And I've made my bed every day since I was a little girl. I know that seems foreign to a lot of people. And again, bathroom. So my husband prefers his stuff up on the counter. So I just have, you know, one little bin. I have a picture, my favorite picture of myself right there, because again, it makes me happy, right? When I look at that picture, I intentionally know where I was in that moment and it makes me happy. And here's my master closet. So this is another, I love doing master closets. I can't even tell you how much. I have these alpha units. And depending on your space, I'm not a big fan of building in a lot of stuff. I am a fan of having more mobile stuff. So, you know, again, intentional. This is a little high type A. They're all folded and, you know, folded very neatly and color coded. Not every client will get that way. But things that you can do to make more space in your master closet is to get these double bars. So that's how I have my pants, which is great. These hangers became a big craze, you know, a few years ago, and they really do work. The thinner felt hangers really do work. They create a lot more space. So I have, you know, switched out all of that. Purses. So all of my purses are together. My boots are together. And then shoes are all together. Now, last week I got the question, oh, wow, you know, that's a great shoe thing. What happens if you get more shoes? If I bring in a pair of shoes, one of these pairs of shoes has to go away. I do not go get another bin or another, you know, organizer to put in that blank space just because I have more shoes. That's not allowed because I want the space to be free. One thing I will say too, this is controversial. What do you not see? There's nothing on the floor. Oh my gosh, what? I'm very picky about that, about stuff being on the floor. And this is a really huge tub that we use as our hamper, as our dirty clothes catcher. So it all goes in there. Laundry gets done once a week on Sundays. So like for me, my laundry, clothes laundry, for me, my husband and my 12-year-old get done on Sunday. Towels and sheets get done on Monday. House cleaning gets done on Monday. So we're on kind of a regular schedule, but there's only one place that those dirty clothes go. And the rules in my house are very simple with my family: trash in the trash, clothes, dirty clothes in the hamper, and dishes in the dishwasher. My boys' rooms, I don't care what they do in there, as long as they're bringing down their trash and they're getting their dirty clothes done, you know, that kind of stuff, dishes, trash, clothes. I don't over organize them, but in any of our common spaces in the house, the rules kind of apply. So I think that's a little bit of a tour of my house. If we want to open it up to questions, I would love to answer any questions that you have.
I'm going to try, since it's a small, intimate group, I'm going to try unmuting everybody.
Okay.
It may ask you, saying that I'm unmuting you and you have to give permission. So if you want to speak, please go ahead and ask your question of Rochelle.
Yes, I'm crazy. I'll just answer that one right away. There may be echoing. Maybe to go in here.
I have a lot of them.
Well, ask a question.
All right. Don't be shy. Who wants to be first?
Anything you can give us about paper? Paper's my problem.
Oh, okay. So
Oh, she is.
biggest thing about paper is that it has to be in
Where-
one
where-
place. It has to be in one place. When you start to just put paper down, either in a rush or in frustration, because the rule is going to apply whether it's clothes, kitchen stuff, linens, paper, things in your garage, the rule is always the same. You have to get like items together. You have to get all of the paper in one place. You sort it. So medical stuff, bills that are due, whatever your life at this time is, has to be sorted by like item. And again, just like if you were going through jeans in your closet, it's going to become very clear. Oh, wait a minute. Like I have all of this medical, information. This is stuff that I have to keep. I have to keep a lot of paper on my son that has diabetes. I have to be able to track that kind of stuff. But we do not get in the mail anymore bank statements, statements on our investments, stuff like that. We have gone all online to where once a month my husband gets an email. My 12-year-old is awake. I'm still on a live webinar, so give me 5 minutes. I knew I couldn't get through the whole hour. Anything that you can look up on the internet faster, don't keep the paper. Or anything that you can maybe get through an email. Now, but it's also kind of an age thing, right? Like I can say that to someone who's 20 and they're going to get it. I have a couple of clients in their 80s and that's a lot harder. I've actually gone in and helped them set that stuff up or called their advisor and said, how can we set them up on this so that they don't get so much paper? But the key is with anything, and paper is a huge, huge bully. You've got to keep it in one place. You have to keep it sorted by category, and you just have to deal with it. That's the thing. A lot of people just go, I don't want to. It's boring. It's too much. You just have to bite the bullet and deal with it. And I promise you, if you follow those rules, the paper eventually will not be the bully. That's why my desk doesn't have any paper on it. It's because I deal with it every single week. At least one time a week, I will sit down at my desk for an hour to 2 hours and just very intentionally, I don't like it either. I don't like it, but very intentionally going through it and filing and doing what I need to do. Because if you take 2 hours now, you're probably going to save yourself 6 hours on another day because it's going to be triple what if you just would have taken care of it. So does that answer your question a little bit?
Yes, you've motivated me to get at it. Thank you very much.
Yay!
Hey,
Send me a picture.
Okay.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I have a 15-year-old, a 14-year-old, and a 12-year-old, and a husband. How do you get the rate? Yes, I know.
You're my new best friend.
All right, awesome. Well, actually, I'm on this with my mom. She's right here too. She's living with us right now too, because in the situation that we're all in. How do you get your family on board with this?
Okay, so I skipped over this in my notes because I thought either somebody's going to ask the question, but it was like the one thing I thought, I'm going to skip over this because I want to be able to show you spaces in my house. I'm so glad you asked.
Sorry.
So my name is Rochelle Ross. I'm a professional organizer. I do not say, hi, I'm Rochelle Ross. I'm a professional counselor. So I'm not a marriage counselor, not a family counselor, but let me say this. Just like I kind of was just saying when I was showing you the dirty clothes and stuff like that. I am also very, very big on family conversations and honesty and really everybody on the same page as much as you can. So creating common boundaries and common rules in a house. If it is a common space in our house, the kitchen, the main living room, those are common spaces that everybody has to agree on the rules. And a lot of times it is, please don't leave dishes here. Please don't leave clothes here. And then just depending on, the age of your kids and how my 12-year-old is he's kind of naughty. He's beautiful, but he's naughty. He doesn't always do what he's supposed to, right? My 19-year-old now is to the point that I can say no or yes, and he'll do it. My daughter, who's 24, out of the house, was very obedient. She was easy. But really just kind of creating those common boundaries and those common plans, and put those in place, and you've really got to stick to it. Now, I have gotten to the point over the years that I don't care about my kids' bedrooms. I can't. I do not have the capacity to do that. I had to prioritize what was the most important thing. And I have lots of moms of 2-year-olds that call me and say, can you come organize these toys and get a system that my 2-year-old will understand? No, I can't. Because at some point you just have to let your kids selves and figure it out. Now, if the boys' stuff, if I open a door and it stinks, oh, we gotta do a clean, right? And every once in a while I do need to go in there and do a check. But for the ages of your kids, it's probably more about just giving them a little bit of rope and then pulling them back. And, my 12-year-old takes all the rope and very rarely comes back. But as long as the stink of his room isn't coming out into the main part of the house, I've really learned to let that go, because my priority is in my common spaces. Husbands are harder. And if you cohabitate, the chances are one of you is going to be messy and one of you is going to be neat. My husband is not messy, and he has, over the 18 years we've been together, been really good about trying to follow the common boundaries. But I also, in a case with him, have had to not touch his stuff in the garage, not touch the stuff on his side of the top of the closet, right? And as long as it's not on the floor, which is my biggest pet peeve, I have to let my husband have his own space. So if I get a call from a wife that says, can you come do my husband's, garage, without his permission, I can't touch his stuff. So I think it's about conversations, and it's about having rules for common spaces. And that goes even for things like in the refrigerator, in the kitchen, and places that we share. The mayonnaise, mustard, and ketchup, they're all condiments. They're like items. They are on the same in the same place in my refrigerator, and my family knows it. The leftovers are on a certain shelf. But sometimes if something gets put on a different shelf or gets put in a different place, I may just move it to where I want it until it becomes a habit for the other person. And then I'll have a conversation and say, this is really important to me. I need you to understand that for this to happen this way is important to me. And you tell me what's important to you. And then let's find that common ground. And that works with kids that are older, like your kids are old enough to understand that. And then your husband. So does that kind of answer your question? It doesn't solve your problem, but hopefully it gives you a starting point.
Thank you so much. But my mom, I don't want to like commandeer the whole conversation, but my mom wanted to know what you do with seasonal stuff.
Oh, that's another good one. So, okay. All of my Christmas bins in my garage. So I don't have an attic. Things are in my garage. All of my Easter is in one bin. All of my Halloween is in one bin. That includes Christmas t-shirts and socks are with Christmas stuff. Christmas sheets with Christmas stuff. Because the space inside my house, the biggest majority of the year, I need to be functional for what I need to get done today, this week, and this month. So seasonal stuff, always with seasonal stuff. If you do not put something out like a Christmas decoration or Easter decoration for a couple of years, it's out of there. If you have sentimental things that are considered seasonal that you no longer put out, put those with the memories. So this is one thing we didn't get to, but memories have the exact same rule as everything else. All of your pictures, all of your memories should be contained to one place in your house, and the rules for sorting those apply. I have all of my daughter's stuff in one place, all of my son's stuff in one place, all of my other son's stuff, all of our family stuff. And when you start to see how much of that kind of memorabilia stuff you have, it does become easier to scale some of that stuff down. And there's ways that even if you get rid of something, we have tricks of the trade that we can still preserve it or take pictures of it and make books and stuff like that. But there's a difference between something that you're using that's active, that's important, that you love, and a memory, and separating those. But I highly, highly encourage you not to keep your Christmas sheets in with your other sheets, because it just kind of clogs up space that you may need for other things.
Okay, that's excellent. Excellent. Thank you.
I missed your cell phone number. Can you repeat it?
I will. It is 214-697-9683. And I promise, I mean this. If you want to text me pictures today and say, this is what I'm working on, I would love to just, have a text conversation with you, and I can look at something and probably tell you right away, maybe the 3 first steps that you can take for that space. So
Thank you.
I get really excited about this stuff. Sorry.
Wonderful.
Any other questions?
Are you going
I
to
know
do
we're
more,
like hitting time, but
are you going to do more webinars?
that is up to Teresa and Kim. I love doing this stuff. We had talked about putting some other little like 1-minute tidbits, because there's so much, even in an hour, sometimes I can't get in everything, then you have specific questions about memories or garages or, like in my home, I do a lot of speaking engagements, even just on garages. My garage also functions as another room in my house. Even though my car is in there, everything in my garage is functional. I can see everything in my garage. If I need to go out there and get something, or it's time to go shopping for toilet paper, I know exactly what I need to buy, because even my garage functions. So we talked about, and I'll probably continue to have that conversation with Teresa and Kim about doing some other little tidbits about some specific spaces. But
I hope you do.
I haven't scared anybody off this morning. I know I can start off kind of soft, and then once I start talking, this is genuinely, I am so blessed to have this business. I worked corporate America for 25 years, and I got to the point with 3 kids in my house, a husband that works retail, that it was really hard to be happy on a day-to-day basis. And my husband is the one that said, this is a real profession and a real thing that people do making money. And if we just don't take as many Disney trips maybe, and you don't go to Hobby Lobby every single week, we can make this happen. And so I have been absolutely blessed to the moon the last 8 years to be able to make this my business, where it's the gift I've been given. I am really good at it, and I can make money at it. I'm my own boss. I make my own hours, and I just feel so fortunate to have this life that it's important for me to share that. And I don't ever charge when I speak, because I feel like getting my messages out is more important. And I try to, as a professional organizer here in the Hurst-Euless Bedford area, I try to stay in this bubble a little bit. Kim asked me the question, if I ever went to Dallas County, and those clients I kind of take on a one-to-one basis, but kind of right here in what I call my little bubble, I try to keep my rate affordable for people and work with people one-on-one with what they need and what they can afford according to their budget. Or sometimes I may go in to meet a new client, and I'm going to be honest with you. If I don't think I'm the right organizer for you, I'm going to tell you that, and I'm going to give you a referral to an organizer that may be better suited for your specific, place that you are in your home. But most of the time, to do like garages and kitchens and master baths and that kind of stuff, I can go in, I work pretty fast, and I just love it so much. So I get a little excited, but I promise I'm not as scary as I might be coming off. My son is like, no, you're scary. I think he's waiting to get fed. Any more questions? But please feel free, honestly. I mean it. Today, I'm home today. I need to work in my own garage today. So if you have any questions, please let me know. And I'll continue to work with Teresa and Kim with whatever their needs are, for the population that they're trying to serve. So, and it's been fun. Thank you, Teresa and Kim, so much for for reaching out and being patient with me over the last couple weeks to get you everything that you needed. So I appreciate you asking me.
Thank you for joining us today.
Absolutely.
Sharing your insights. All right, well, I have one more quick poll before we let people go. So let me just see if I can get that up real quick. So before you go, just curious, what other type of seminar topics you would be interested in learning more about? So I've got a few options here. So if you would just share your opinions on what would interest you, we would greatly appreciate it so we can tailor our future seminars to your interest.
Craft making. What else?
And you can choose more than one answer.
Mhm, that's always good.
I hear Mom picking hers out. That's awesome.
Oh boy, those are great.
They're all good. The wine tasting, yes. Wine tasting and cooking demonstration at the same time. That's awesome.
Oh my.
All right, so let me just kind of show the results here real quick. So home decorating tips kind of took the lead there, but thank you so much. We appreciate you sharing your feedback with us. All right, well, I hope you guys have a organized afternoon and some successes and some fun today. So thank you so much.
Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
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 Thanks.
Oh, that
Teresa,
was
thanks.
so
That was fun.
I enjoyed it too.
Thanks, Kim.
Thanks. You did a great job, Rochelle.
I know, I get a little excited. And then I stop and look at myself again. I'm like, calm down, calm down, calm down.
That's really cool. That's cool.
Great.